Hey guys, you might be noticing the prices in grocery store are going up. You're worried about your kids' future. You want to leave something your kids. You want to leave something for your future. And you're not sure what to buy. You're thinking of getting an investment, but none of them make sense. And one of the easiest investments you can make is gold. So basically, it's a yellow metal that people use for money. 90% of all the gold in the world, more than 90%, is used to make coins, bars, and other investment products, sometimes jewelry. So the prices of every coin, every investment product is decided by the weight. So a gram of gold is always worth something. And as soon as people decided to use gold as money, as you can see very easily with this Mexican, yes, 10 peso, 20 pesos, I apologize. Gold coin, it says right here, it has 15 grams of pure gold. Look at this $50 bill. It's worth $50. And this might make sense to you. It's very easy, it's familiar, it's $50. But you may notice that $50 does not buy the same amount of eggs. Gasoline stayed closely the same, actually fell in price, but eggs, bread, butter, went up in price. And sometimes things fall in price based on market forces. For example, during the virus time, toilet paper went up to the stratosphere, the prices, because there was not supply. But in normal times, when supply is normalized, but normalized means it works as normal, but the price does not fall. So it does not fall to what it was. It means something went wrong. It could be that the farmers are trying to hold the price high, but that's unlikely. The more likely explanation is they printed more of these. And they can print so many of them until people figure out something's horribly wrong. I have other bills from Zimbabwe, for example, that have $100 trillion face value. So the biggest issue with paper currency, to keep this under your mattress, is inflation. Is that they keep making more and more of these. Gold is, despite for what they say, it's very difficult to increase supply of gold, but it's possible. I'll explain how it works later. So let's go back to the $50 bill. The exchange rate of US dollar to British pound was 5-1 in about 1920. This is a British pound. And you might think, well, I can get 10 of these for that $50. No. In reality, this coin is worth about $500. So if you could exchange $50 bill for 10 of these, let me know where. I'll be there in a second. Gold has no counterparty risk. So if a US government falls apart, gold will still have its value as something valuable. For example, here is a 5 ruble coin from Tsarist Russia. And I have 5 ruble paper bills. They're worthless. Pretty much only their collector value. Well, in fact, this 5 rubles from 1897 is worth about $300, which, holds its value despite the fact that Tsarist Russia doesn't exist. So Vladimir Putin does not want your $5 Tsarist Russian bills, he wants the gold ones. Obviously, gold holds its value over time, but supply can increase. Miners, they have land that they hold in like a land bank. Once the price of gold increases, and mathematically it makes sense for them to mine it, they will start mining it. So for example, gold goes up from $500 to $2,000. They will start mining in places where it makes monetary sense. So if the cost to get the ounce of gold from the ground is $1,500 and market price is $2,000, they will do it to get the $500 price. So that will bring down the price of gold. And a lot of the paper gold that's traded in the market is actually sold by miners. Gold does not give you a return. It's not a business that's going to pay you a little kickback every year or promise to develop new technologies. It's just a metal. 90%, as I said, of all the gold is used for monetary purposes. It's made into coin and bars. Silver is 50-50. Platinum and palladium is more than 90% industrial. If you're thinking about investing in gold, I think there'll be one more crash. There's a big debt crisis coming. And a lot of countries like China is in really need of money. And they have been buying gold like crazy. So they've been trading their paper currency for gold any time they could. But if the financial crisis comes, gold will be the first thing to be sold to pay for example, margin loans, or just to make their payments. I hold my savings, my emergency savings in gold. So if I need some emergency money, obviously I go sell the gold. And I think there'll be one more crash in price down before the big pump. So the last big pump was right after 2008, when it went from around $300, $400, $500 to $1,600, $1,700, $2,000. Then it went down to $1,600. Silver went up to $40 and never came back up that high. When you buy a piece of gold, you're charged a little fee. So for example, let's call this, it's called a premium. So when you buy a piece of gold, you have to, for example, pay $50 more. And when you sell a piece of gold, you need to lose $50. So the dealer makes, for example, in this case, $100 on a transaction. So which gold do you buy? There's first type of gold is a bar. I don't have any bars here, but I do have the next type of gold, government issued bullion. This is a Canadian 1/10 ounce maple leaf made by the Canadian government. It's real gold. So if you look at it, it has a value of $5, when in fact the market value of the gold is $200. Here's another Canadian maple leaf. These are good, but the mintage is how many coins they make. So we're talking about, yes, I want to buy gold, but what do I buy? I don't recommend modern, this is modern government issued currency, because if you scratch it, if you damage it slightly, you have to take 70% cut on value of your gold. For example, I bought a gold coin, I paid 6% more. So if I scratch it, I have to basically sell it as jewelry, so I only get 70% back. So I'll lose 36%, not 12%. So as you remember, when I buy this coin, I pay $50. But if I scratch it, I'm gonna pay way more to sell it. So that's a big problem, especially with silver, because it stains so easily. I recommend historical gold coins and silver coins for that matter. For example, look at this DS peso. If you scratch it slightly, it doesn't matter to the coin dealer. He'll still give you the, take his minus 6%, but you won't take minus 30%. Plus, a lot of these old gold coins can get appreciation in value. So my recommendation is buy old historical gold coins. These are Mexican pesos. Mexican pesos are gold. So for example, here is 10 pesos, 10 peso. Dos pesos, one of the smallest coins they minted. 2.5 pesos. 5 pesos. 10 pesos. 20 pesos. 20 pesos. And it's 20 pesos is very beautiful gold coin. Then we went through the Canadians. One of my favorite modern coins to buy is Chinese Panda, because the design every year changes. Here's another one. And another Panda. 89. Here's a 5 ruble that I showed before. 20 marks. This guy started World War I, by the way. 20 mark. Ludwig von Konen. Another Prussian coin, 20 marks. So it's same kingdom. This was issued by the King of, I think, Prussia. Not Prussia, King of Prussia. And this is a King of Bavaria. So it was a Germany back then was a union of many little German-speaking kingdoms. This is Queen Victoria. This is £1 coin. It's called a sovereign. There's another ish version of Queen Victoria pound. Not this one, but it is this one. There's a shield on the back. It's also known as a sovereign. Then her husband died and she changed it to this design. Then her son took over, Edward. Then I believe next king took over. Here's another. I don't have Queen Elizabeth's father, but I do have Queen Elizabeth's sovereign. And at this point, these are basically another version of government currency, because these sovereigns were never made for use as money, but just like investment. Basically, you put it in a vault and forget about it. And I have her son, Queen Elizabeth, who took over. So this is a Britannica coin as a government issue. Here's one of my favorite ones, Singapore 25 Sing Golds. Republic of Singapore. This is Swiss franc, 20 franc. By the way, right now in Switzerland, the 20 franc will barely get you a meal at McDonald's. While this 20 franc could get you, well, Switzerland is so incredibly eye-watering expensive, could get you 2 meals, probably 2 steaks at a fine restaurant. This is worth about $400, $500. Let's go through all my favorite ones, the French, because I have, this is Roi de France, Louis, well, one of the last kings of France. Here's 20 franc. It's scratched up, so I got a good deal on it. So you don't want to scratch up your historical currency. Then, one of my downright favorite is Napoleon Bonaparte, 20 franc. This is the same coin, it's a 20 franc. Napoleon III. Right there. Just a typical franc from 1920s. Gold coin. I have one more. And where is it? It's right here. 20 franc. From 1800s. I also have another government issue. These are 50-cent coins. Canadian. 1 gram. Is it 1 gram? Oh yeah, they're 1 gram gold coins. Made in Canada, 50 cents. Obviously, you don't want to spend them as 50 cents because they're worth about $100 each to $80. And I'll leave you with this. 20 franc. Austrian. This is gold. In my opinion, the price will crash because there's a lot of debts in the market. But the final, basically I'm calling it the final crash in gold before the pump. Because the governments will do the only thing they know is to issue more $50 bills or $100 bills or $100 yuans to pay their debts. A big debt crisis is coming.